Welcome to all present to the ILERI versus CPES quarter-final debate happening here at CentraleSupélec in the French Debating Association National Tournament. The motion under debate is this House believes that it's better to be wise than wealthy. My name is Raphaël Pondiarnier, the first-year debater here at CentraleSupélec, and I have the honor of sharing this debate, and I am accompanied by our lovely timekeeper, Mila Ricuort. Our illustrious jury this evening is composed of Delphine Corso from Assas. We also have Noé Calvier from ENS. We have Marine Despuipers from Polytechnique. We have Devia Madhavan from CentraleSupélec. And finally, we have Alexandre Alexandre Kéon from INSEAD. What would be this debate if it weren't from our lovely debaters? And let's start with the government, coached by David Bouclet. The government members are Nina Duhamel as Prime Minister, as second speaker, Blandine Lepoutre as third speaker, Gaia Lève as fourth speaker, and Andreas Delacoux as whip. Then we have the opposition team, coached by Marlene Verlac. Are Laura Simmonet as leader. Mila Ricuort as second speaker. We have Eliot Gharib as third speaker. We have Clémence Lecuit as fourth speaker. We have Emma Spender as whip. Alright, so for those unfamiliar with FDA-style debating, I'd like to go over a few points. So let's start by recapping the 5 main adjudication criteria. The first one is arguments, the second one is form, the third one is teamwork, the fourth one is engagement, and the fifth one is the je ne sais quoi. Star quality here. Now, I will talk about the speeches. They will each be 6 minutes long, and we'll have 1 minute of protected time at the beginning and 1 minute of protected time at the end. And protected time means that no POIs may be asked during that time. So, a POI, or point of information, are questions that must be short and to the point. Unfortunately, the POIs can only come from the debaters and not from the audience, although at the end of the debate, while our honorable jury deliberates, the debaters will be able to take questions and comments from the floor. So, you will hear a first bell after 1 minute, a second one after 5 minutes, and a final bell at the end of the 6 minutes. After this bell, the speaker will have up to 15 seconds to finish their speech, after which the timekeeper will ring their bell aggressively. So finally, a point of order may be asked if a debater feels that there's been a procedural problem or use of unparliamentary language. This must be addressed to me, the chairperson, and I will tell the timekeeper to stop the clock, and I will make a ruling on whether the point of order is sustained or not. I can see that we have a fine audience tonight, and although silence may be one of the hardest arguments to refute, the only silence we will welcome here tonight is that of your mobile phones. So please turn off your mobile phones during this debate. Although you, dear audience, may not speak during the debater's speech, you are allowed to interact with them in 2 ways. When you strongly agree with a point being made, you will cry the words, "Hear!" And when you condemn the subjects, you will cry, "Shame!" So finally, even though those reactions from the audience are often funny and lighthearted, keep in mind that they shouldn't, in any case, impede on the debater's speeches. Everyone is ready then. Without further ado, let's have ourselves a passionate and memorable debate.
Yeah.
First, I'd like to call upon the Prime Minister, Nina Duhamel, for their opening.
Voilà.
Most wonderful chairperson. There is no Disney prince that can ever outshine you. Precise timekeeper. Time is money, but you're the only one that know how to use it wisely. Good friends from CentraleSupélec. On the behalf of my all governments, I would like to thank you for hosting this debate. I'm sure this evening is going to be great. Honorable member of the jury, I can see how much you're wise just by looking in your eyes. My family from the government, as ambitious as you're wide, by your side, I'm in for a good surprise. Dear opposition, it's a pleasure to debate by your side. I'm sure you will make it worth the while. Beautiful audience, thank you for trusting us. Your presence means the world to us. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Wisdom or wealth? Knowledge or riches? Insights or fortune? What an old debate. Well, tonight we will put an end to it. Yes, it is better to be wise than wealthy. Some of you might have heard of me. Some of you might even have read about me. And I'm sure lots of you have fantasized about me. I mean, come on, I'm the only one able to keep you awake for over 1,000 nights. You've guessed it, I am Sherazad, the storyteller of the Arabian Nights. Tonight, I will take you to a whole new world. Let me tell you the story of Aladdin. I will use my next 5 minutes to achieve 2 things. Firstly, I will enlighten you, the audience, on the terms and the core of this motion. And secondly, I'll present to you my wise characters and their arguments. So to make sure that we are all on the same page, let me define you the key terms of this motion. This house believes that it is better to be wise than wealthy. First of all, to be wise means having the ability to make good judgments, sensible decisions, and advice based on a deep understanding and experience of life. Then, to be wealthy is having a large amount of money, possession, and material things. According to the Modern Wealth Survey, a wealthy person is one that has a net worth of $1.9 million or more. Finally, the term better than means more sustainable or efficient than other things. In this case, it is better to be wise than wealthy. Efficient, more sustainable, and more moral. Being wealthy is a mean, wisdom is an end itself. Don't worry, I will wait tomorrow night to present you our arguments, but before that, let me clarify 3 things. Firstly, there is a difference between being wealthy and being comfortable. We all agree that in our society, we do need a certain amount of money to have a comfortable life. However, there is many levels of money. There is being broke, being comfortable, being rich, and then there is wealth. Wealth is an extreme. Wealth is $1.9 million. Bring me to my second point. Wisdom is what allows you to have balance within yourself or for society. Yes, please.
How does one become wise?
One becomes wise by understanding his experience, by making experience, by growing up. Everyone can become wise. Sophocles said, wisdom is the supreme part of happiness. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Not on buying the latest Chanel version of a flying carpet. No. Wisdom is what allows you to avoid destruction caused by the pursuit of excessive wealth, allowing you to be satisfied with what you have. Oh, thank you. And this leads me to my final points. Everyone can become wise, not everyone can become wealthy. As the saying goes, rich who can The truth is, the best way to be wealthy is to be born in a wealthy family. On the other hand, life itself will most likely make you wiser. Yes, please.
What's the point of being wise if anyone can become it?
The point of being wise is to make a better society and better friendship because you'll be more likable to others. This opposition might try to convince you to choose well because, oh my god, it could be so great to be rich. Here. Well, breaking news, if you're not already wealthy, you most likely never be. That is why we, the government, speak for you, the majority. And not for the 1% wealthy of society. Well, now my kids, get ready to be carried away while presenting you our main characters. Every Disney movie has his bad guy, and ours is Jafar. Cruel and cold, that one had thought well his whole life and lost it all. She will perfectly show you that being wealthy on his own is dangerous for yourself and for society. Right after her, our princess, Jasmine. She was born wealthy and became wise. Everyone wanted her to marry the rich prince, but she wisely chose love. And we explain you that being wise is better than being wealthy because your relationship to wealth depends on your wisdom. Then, the wisest of all. Big and blue, you've guessed it, the genie! She will explain to you that it is better to be wise than wealthy because it permits you to find balance and happiness. And to conclude, our leading man will arrive on his flying carpet, Aladdin. He will remind you everything that has been said and using his stolen wit, destroy this opposition argument. Well, the opposition starts shaking in your boot because coming after me really means Jafar will arrive and prove to you that wealth without wisdom will lead you to being immoral. To conclude, dear jury and audience, let me present a tale of importance. Aladdin once believed that wealth will give him all. The health, the joy, the princess and the castle. Only to realize that wisdom was the only goal. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, please remember, money comes and money goes, but wisdom lasts and only grows. Please accept this motion. Thank you.
Prime Minister, for this elegant speech and very appealing story. And now I would like to call upon the leader of the opposition, Laura Simmonet.
Distinguished jury, it is an honor to have you judge upon us tonight. For you and only you, I break etiquette. Brilliant chairperson, you turned my year into an annus mirabilis, and yet I died this year. Melodious bell person, I would have wanted you to play at my funeral. Such a shame. Governments, I've met 15 prime ministers, and yet your government is still the worst of them. Opposition, dear royal family, this is a pleasure to see you once more. And dear audience, thank you for coming all the way to the 8th of GIF. Someone must have promised you wealth because no one will move this far for me. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My loving people, I greet you all with the warmth of a cup of tea. And God knows that Queen loves tea. So from my luxurious perch up here in the heavens, I have observed the going-on of the world with great interest. And it has been brought to my attention that some unwise government was trying to spread confusion within my people. That is why my wonderful subjects, Queen Elizabeth, has returned from the dead with her wisdom of experience. To enlighten you, my dear, not better to be wise than wealthy. Now let us turn to the matter at hand. Though I know I should not get involved in politics, your Prime Minister made me think you might not be as wise as you want us to believe. Given the definitions she gave. On the one hand, your definition of wisdom was being wise means having or showing the ability to make good judgments and decisions based on knowledge, experience, and understanding. That last part, I agree. But the problem with the beginning of the definition is that it is... Yes?
Are you known for your wisdom or your wealth?
I'm known for both. The problem with this definition is that it makes it sound like wisdom is a universal concept that we all agree on. However, as the saying goes, the wise man knows he knows nothing. So I'm asking you, does anyone really know what wisdom is? Because the thing is, wisdom is subjective. No, thank you. It depends on the society, the period you're living in, and your personal background. Many would call one fool when others would call the same person wise. But both would be right, because there is no such thing as objective wisdom. And that is precisely, my dears, why the notion of a better option is flawed. The apparently wise government thinks they have the monopoly on truth and undeniable insight into people's hearts. That's not very wise. While in fact, it takes foolishness to assume that one should rather be wise than wealthy, when wisdom, in the first place, will not resonate in the same way in everyone.
Information, please.
Yes.
How would you manage to be wealthy without some wisdom?
That is precisely what the definition will be of wealth, because when you are wealthy, you have a sense of wisdom. So, on another hand, wealth, as you said, is more tangible. If you have riches, you are wealthy. However, there is an essential difference between being wealthy and being rich. And that you wisely highlighted. But you didn't say that. Both have different mindsets regarding their money. The wealthy are never in need, that's true, while the rich are bad managers. The wealthy think long term, while the rich think short term. On that point, please? No, thank you. As a former sovereign myself, I am acutely aware of the responsibilities that come with the possession of great wealth. So I shall summarize it as follows. Wealthy people are smart enough not to let money control them, while still taking advantage of it. The government will try to convince you that to be wealthy is to live in idleness, in superficiality, unless you are wise. When being wealthy is already having a sense of wisdom, as I said. I'd like to add one thing. We are not advocating that being wealthy is better than being wise, for that would be too restrictive. Simply that being wise is not better than being wealthy. Wealth has so many things to offer, and that wisdom without wealth is limited. We are advocating, however, for a realistic point of view and not an ideal. And to show you that, I gathered my family, which remains strong, despite, no thank you, the royal dramas. As Sorrel said, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. And it certainly is the motto of my Epicurean grandson, Harry. So first, Harry will show you that it is not better to be wise than wealthy, as wealth on a personal level is needed to survive and strongly contributes to our happiness. Then, my other grandson, who is more politically correct, will demonstrate that it is not better to be wise than wealthy on a societal level, because money talks, and wisdom is not the be-all and end-all.
Here.
Next, Lady Diana. We had a little convoy in heaven, so we are all good now. We can demonstrate that it is not better to be wise than wealthy on a philanthropic level. She will argue that sharing wisdom has its drawbacks, while wealth is more efficiently shareable without imposing
Here.
Lastly, my son Charles will whip this debate to conclusion. So I shall say, wealth saves the king. It is not better to be wise than wealthy, so please reject the motion.
Thank you, Leader of the Opposition, for this refined and regal speech. And now I call upon the second Speaker of the government, Ines Eugène. Here.
Change the computer, change the...
Yes, please.
Here.
Yes.
Wonderful chairperson, your beauty has no price, but I would totally steal for those eyes.
Here.
Precise timekeeper, wisdom comes with time, so you must definitely be at your prime.
Here.
Wise jury, we know we can't buy a victory, that's why we're gonna debate wisely.
Here.
Family of the government, with wisdom by your side, this competition sure won't be a tie.
Here.
Opposition, be careful, because I'm the bad guy. A beautiful audience, money comes and money goes, but my love for you only grows.
Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Is everyone scared? Good. Hi, I'm Jafar, Aladdin's terror, the one you should fear forever, but the one who sadly made one error. I saw wealth my entire life, believing it would make me happy. I did everything. I tried to marry the rich princess, I asked the genie to make me a sultan, I adopted an extravagant lifestyle to look like a millionaire. I don't walk around with a parrot on my shoulder for fun. Before getting to my point, I know my Machiavellian laugh is gonna give you nightmares. But you know the real nightmare tonight? The arguments of this opposition. Back to them. Dear Elizabeth II, thank you for breaking your etiquette. But let's break a little of your arguments. Maybe wisdom is subjective, but also love, happiness. Don't you think some things are so great in life that you don't need to count them? Let me ask you a question. If the wealthy is the one who knows how to manage his wealth, what do he use to manage it? Wisdom! Thank you for agreeing with us on the fact that wisdom is needed to have sustainable wealth. That wisdom is better.
On that point?
No, thank you. So, before me, Sherazade reminded us there is a strong difference between being wealthy and having enough money to live a comfortable life. For my part, I'll use my 5 next minutes to show you how wealth alone is dangerous. Firstly, at a personal scale, wealth without good judgment is self-destructive. And second, a society that seeks wealth without wisdom is dangerous. So, let's go into my first point. A person seeking wealth only is gonna self-destruct himself. So, if you haven't watched the Aladdin Disney movie, maybe you're more familiar with Greek mythology. Once upon a time, a king named Midas had to make one wish. The greedy Midas, seeking for wealth, asked for the ability to turn everything he touches into gold. What a great gift this opposition would say! But dear jury, the reality is quite the contrary. Unable to eat and drink, Midas even turned his loved ones into status of gold, and ends up sad and alone in his wealthy household. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what wealth does. Yes, please.
What do you make of the expression being wealthy with friends?
Yeah, but if you want to be... Sorry. Wisdom. Brings you the ability to make friends. Well, without balance, makes you lose the essential things in life. It disconnects you from reality. It makes you forget about your common sense, like going to buy bread in a private jet. Your morals, corruption, Putin. You push your body to its limits. Cocaine, pushing you to the extremes. Wealth will never bring you the happiness it promises. As Benjamin Franklin once stated, a man who seeks wealth will never be happy. The more of it one has, the more he wants. And this leads you down a path of excess and self-destruction. On the contrary, wisdom, by itself, permits you to live a balanced life. But the genie will tell you about that later. And that leads me to my second point. A society that seeks wealth without good judgment is dangerous. No, thank you. Danger, love it. When seeking wealth, you're blinded by your profit, obsessed with increasing them, no matter if it's immoral and negatively affects your society, your environment. Dear audience, what was the leading cause of colonization? Was it because of wisdom, or were European states wanting more wealth? That's a tough one. It was indeed the greed for wealth this opposition is advocating.
What about the fact that during colonization, the Europeans said that they want to bring the wisdom of the Christ to the
They didn't want to bring the wisdom. They wanted cotton, they wanted spices, they wanted As the Bible said, the love of money is the root of all evil. The sustainable Jasmine, after me, will show you that wealth cannot be sustained without wisdom. In conclusion, dear audience and wonderful jury, they want you to believe that money makes you happy. But the truth is, it disconnects you from reality. You live a life without balance nor morality. Because wealth is a glass, always half empty, that you want to fill continuously. So, it's the end of Jafar's story. But remember, money comes, money goes, but wealth lasts and only grows. Please accept the motion. Thank you.
Thanks, dear speaker, for this wicked speech. And now I would like to call upon the second speaker of the opposition, Mila Ricuort.
Dear audience, especially my well friend, thank you for coming. Dear chairperson, so fancy are you? Tell me, where did you buy your glasses? Dear bell person, you did your job so well that I want you to be paid tonight. The judge, it's an honor to receive a note from you. But I hope I can give you some banknotes to make some arrangements. My team, or should I say my family, what a lovely experience with you. I really want to see it in the crowd. And dear opposite team, thank you to use us for your wisdom. Do you know if wisdom can pay for studies at ILERI? Good evening. I'm Henry Charles Albert David. I am better known as Harry, member of the British royal family. I am the youngest son of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer, and the grandson of Queen Elizabeth. I am married to Meghan Markle. Don't make that face, I know you don't like her. In my family we are wealthy, and not just because we are the royal family. No. In my family we are wealthy because I assure you that this money is maintained. We use it smartly. But let's go back to me. I trained in a military center and I served the British Army for 10 years. Since then, I have been involved in a lot of charity projects and humanitarian. But am I a wise man because of all of this? Yes. Why not? But it's absolutely not my priority in life. But I will show you that the government is not as wise as one might think. No, thank you. So let's come back on the point. Sherazad, you said that wisdom brings you happiness. How can you think that? No, how do you want to be happy without money? You have to share. You have to drink. No, sorry. And Jafar, the bad guy, you said the more you have, the more you want. No, I'm wealthy. I'm not rich. I think about my money. No, I'm not a billionaire. Yes. So it's not better to be wise than wealthy. And simply because during your whole life, wealthy will be much more useful. First, I will show you that being wise is not better than being wealthy, because our first life goal as human beings is clearly to survive. And for that, wealth will be much more useful. Second, we will do that to reach our second life goal. No, sorry. Being happy, wealth is again a way more useful tool in our capitalistic society. My first point is about life. The essence of life is first to live. And when I say to live with this dramatic tone, it's because I mean to survive. I'm not concerned about the fact that being wealthy ensures our survival, because it means we can meet all our needs. Yes.
To a hungry man, would you give him a fish or would you learn him how to fish?
I learned him how to fish. It's not wise. It's just nice people because I'm nice. I'm By the way, thanks a lot, Mom Diana, because thanks to you, I never miss anything. So, I would like to believe that we can live on love and fresh water, for example. But if you live on love and fresh water, it's because you have the money to buy the water. In wealthy, we consider that all basic needs are met. So it's better to be wealthy just to buy food, to buy a home. More than that, this response to our needs allows us to eat, to drink and to sleep. It gives you the energy to work and to have social connections. So, being wealthy in France is explained in the Maslow's pyramid. The basic needs comes first. No, sorry. And when you ask people in the street what they want to be, the easy answer is rich. Because financial stability and survival is at the core of all these things. To be wise is the luxury of those who are already sure to survive. Wise while not being sure to survive is quite useless. You will die in peace, okay, cool, but you will die anyway. No, sorry. Secondly, being wealthy brings us to be happy, or at least happier than being wise. Money can't buy happiness, but wisdom can't buy anything in our country. Face it, government. There is a Forbes article published in 2021 named "New Study Shows That More Money Buys More Happiness Even for the So yes, sorry, I want to be happy. No, sorry. And I want to be happy like everybody here, I hope. So, for instance, my case. I'm a rich man, and okay, I heard the money can't buy happiness, but money can buy me a boat. And frankly, I'd rather be on a boat in Saint-Tropez drinking rosé with my friends and my family than wise in misery. By the way, William, we need to organize something for the Christmas. And don't try to tell me, yes, but you're playing rich, not wealthy. Oh, shame. This boat is fun, but it's also a reasonable purchase. It allows me to travel to remote areas, and it's bringing me a lot of knowledge and experience. And it's even under sale, because my white side know that climate is very, very important. So money, and let's take another example, yours example. Money gave you the opportunity to study what you like in a private school in the most expensive French city. Here! So, and you don't seem to be that unhappy, but I'm not sure wisdom is what you got here. So, neither wisdom nor wealth can guarantee happiness. And being wealthy takes us to happiness. So, yes, a realistic and a wise conclusion. Our goals in life are first to survive and second, be happy, and those goals can't be reached by wisdom, but can be reached by wealth.
Thank you, dear speaker, for your elevated and thought-provoking speech. I now call upon the third speaker of the government, Blandine Lepoutre. Is this to somebody? Get here.
Honorable Chairperson, wise man said only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Punctual timekeeper, usually they call me your highness, but you can call me yours. Wise jury, hopefully they chose you for your wisdom and not for your wealth. Wise government, flying carpet, rolling broom or floating table, I would go anywhere with you. Greedy opposition, I'm sorry, but one thing money cannot buy is talent. Wonderful audience, you are my true blue dream. Ladies and gents, marhaba. It is I, Jasmine, Princess of Agrabah. The one who made hairpins trendy. The ones who seek hair would give Rapunzel competition. The one who found the best carpet to ride in town. And finally, the one that has both wisdom and wealth. Like you indeed, I have both. But when the choice came to me between the wealthy prince or the wise man, my heart didn't hesitate for long. Well, what can I say? Girls don't fall for flowers anymore, but for wisdom. Gentlemen, take notes and update. Before getting to my points, I believe my tiger needs a little promenade. But don't worry, Raja only buys the greedy argument of this opposition. The one that pretends to be realistic. Yeah, sure. You want reality? Well, it took you only one speaker to agree with the motion. As Liam stated, wealth is not better than wisdom. Well, when something is not superior to something else, then it means it is inferior. This is just mathematics. The reality is that this opposition doesn't want to make a choice between wealth and wisdom. So this is kind of the point of the debate. Wisdom chooses wisdom. Actually, even Harry made the choice. She told us that she maintains her money by using it wisely. Then, wealth is not needed to survive. As our PM stated, there is a scale of money. You need a little money to survive. But we support the people. You are advocating for 1% of population, saying only them can get happy. Right before me, the den Andrew Jafar, the bad you love to hate, prove to you that it's better to be wise than wealthy, because wealth alone is self-destructive. For my part, I will show you how it is better to be wise, because your relationship to wealth depends on wisdom. Firstly, because your wealth is not sustainable unless you manage it wisely. And secondly, because your wisdom is what keeps you grounded to reality. So let me take you for a ride that begins with my first point. Your wealth is not sustainable without wisdom. The problem with wealth is not necessarily the amount of money you have, but rather how you use it, how you manage it. Using your wealth unwisely will never be sustainable. You know what they say? The first generation creates the empire, the second one enjoys it, and the third one wastes it.
What difference do you make between being rich and being wealthy?
The thing is that there is a scale. Nina told you. Broke and poor being wealthy. This is an extreme. As Shirazad stated, wisdom is the ability to make good judgments and sensible decisions. And sustainable wealth is about knowing where to invest, feeling the good deals, and perceiving when to withdraw. The 24th of October 1929, the Wall Street crash took the world's economy to the floor, causing what is now seen as one of the worst market crashes. Why? Because traders didn't have the wisdom to see that all that speculation was in fact just a bubble. So easy to break. They abandoned their seek for wealth. 2008, Jerry, no sustainable wealth was led by fools. On the contrary, you can win the lottery overnight and become the wealthiest person on earth. Your lack of wisdom will make you lose it all the next day. With nothing. Which leads me.
On that point, what's your advice about influencers?
Well, I would say that if they use their influence wisely, then it is good for everybody. So my second point, wisdom keeps you grounded to your reality. Jafar showed you that wealth is what disconnects you from reality. On the other hand, whether you're wealthy or poor, wisdom is what allows you to stay grounded to your reality. According to the philosopher and psychologist William James, the art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. Regarding marriage, I had two opportunities. The wealthy man that could offer me the brief satisfaction money can buy, or the one that had nothing but could offer me true love and happiness. In that situation, wisdom allowed me to make my choice. It allowed me to overlook the fantasy and fake promises of wealth. To understand it was not what I needed. This is why wisdom is better than wealth. Because wisdom keeps you grounded to reality. Or in my case, takes you higher every night. And allows you to recognize what is truly best for you. Which is exactly what the balanced genie of this team is going to explain right after me. He's showing you how wisdom is what allows you to reach happiness and balance. In conclusion, dear Jerry, my princess condition gives me wealth. But my wisdom is what maintains my health. Don't pity the ones money leaves behind, but rather the poor of mind. No wealth survives to fools that don't see that wisdom is better than jewels. With wisdom, you'll see clearly and adapt to any situation quickly. So remember, money comes, money goes, but wisdom lasts and only grows. Accept this motion. Thank you.
Thank you to the speaker for very enlightening and down-to-earth speech. And I now call upon the third speaker of the opposition, Eliot Gharib.
Ma Majestic members of the jury, your impartial stature screams wisdom, but frankly, wouldn't you rather be on a boat than stuck in this debate for the 8th time in the month? Anyways, dear Chairperson, I am grateful for the debate you're hosting tonight. Screw Kate Middleton, be my gold digger, please. Noble Bell person, thank you for wisely reminding us that time is money. Idealistic government, thank you for wasting our time constantly proving my point. A little bit out for self-proclaimed wise people. My wonderful opposition, my wonderful family. Let's make Grandma proud before she goes back to her grave! Finally, imperial audience, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Imagine you could make one and only wish. What would it be? Peace in the world, to be super smart, to hook up with Granny. But still, let me give you a piece of advice. You better ask to be wealthy rather than be and I quite know what I'm talking about. Let me introduce myself. I am Prince William, Crown Prince of the Kingdoms of the Commonwealth, and Prince of Wales. Quite impressive, I know. And as a result, I've seen and been through both wisdom and wealth. My family is one of the most wealthy royal families in the world, and my mother, Diana, who will come to talk to you later actually, did such inspiring work to support the most in need. But do you think that my family is powerful, influential, and valued because of her wisdom? No. She mostly owes her highness to her wealth. And that is what I'm going to prove to you in the next 5 minutes. Wealth is a game changer and therefore is needed by wise people. To do so, I will proceed in 2 points. First, I will show you how wealthy people can have an impact on the world and be successful. And second, I will highlight the fact that on the contrary, wise people always need wealth to make it change. But before all that, I'd like to answer some of the arguments that the plebeians used. So first, Jasmine, you said that we should advocate for the fact that it's better to be wealthy than wise. Well, if you knew how to read, you would know that the negative form of this motion is it's not better to be wise than wealthy. Do you know about equality? No. You also said that wisdom keeps you grounded to reality. Is being a hermit, living in the forest, being grounded to reality? Actually, wisdom is subjective. Wisdom is subjective when wealth is objective and tangible. And this is grounded to reality because our reality, our society, our society is unequal and capitalistic, and that's why wealth is useful for. So let's go back to my arguments. So first, wealthy people, simply because they are wealthy actually, can have an impact on society. My majestic audience, let me ask you a question. Who run the world? No, not girls, at least you didn't say wise people like you. But never mind, let's be realistic. The wealthy people run the world. And like wisdom, wealth is a powerful tool by itself. Indeed, wealth provides individuals with access to resources and opportunities that help them influence others to the point that they are able to shape policies and laws. And even though I am Prince, I still believe in democracy, but I'll have to disappoint. In our capitalistic society, even the best democracies are money-driven. Yeah.
Don't you think you advocate for wealth only because you are from the 1% of wealthy persons?
I do not advocate for wealth, as I say. So, according to a study made by Princeton University in 2020, when the elite's interests differ from those of the rest of the society, it is their views that count. And if being wise will allow you to see how wrong the situation is, I agree. Only being wealthy will allow you to not be left behind and make it change. For instance, in the United States, wealthy individuals often use their financial resources to lobby for policies that benefit their interests. Let's talk figures! No, thank you. In 2020 alone, the oil and gas industry spent over millions of dollars on lobbying, and these efforts have been successful since Trump's administration has gone backwards in terms of environmental regulations. Basically, the wealthy people told the wise Rita Thunberg to go back to kindergarten. Who runs the world? Apparently not girls. In a nutshell, being wise is not better than being wealthy, because from a realistic point of view, wealth allows one to have influence and be a game changer, while wisdom clearly is not enough to do so. And this brings me to my second point. Yes, please?
Don't you think that a world led by full but wealthy people will just self-destruct?
That's why we advocate for wealthy and wise, not better than you can be wealthy and wise. You can be but wealthy and wise. And this brings me to my second point. Wisdom is not enough, and wise people need wealth to make it change. Indeed, wisdom alone cannot give one a real influence throughout the world. Face it, government! Everyone can Gandhi! But don't worry though, you're still our model princesses. As a matter of fact, a wise person must be listened to in order to be influential. Not simply heard, but listened to. But as my grandmother Elizabeth stated, wisdom is subjective. Therefore, the wise person won't be listened to by everyone, and their influence will be limited, and thus, wise people need wealth, which is much more objective and tangible, as a platform. This is why patrons exist. You know patrons, not CEOs. People that support an activity by giving money. For instance, Harry, my brother, and I created the philanthropic foundation, which is called the Royal Foundation, ILERI. And through it, we are able to donate money to provide a platform to noble causes and to allow people that we find wise, because this is objective, to be impactful. So, being wise is not better than being wealthy, because again, from a realistic point of view, wisdom alone is not enough. Wisdom is no game changer, government. And wisdom needs a platform to be listened to, and the best platform for this is in fact wealth. So to sum up, from a realistic point of view, being wise is clearly not better than being wealthy. First, because being wealthy is a powerful tool for individuals to rule the world. And second, because even if you are wise, you won't be able to be a game changer if you don't have a platform. And what's the big platform of all? Wealth! So, my royal audience, I am begging you, be realistic. Please reject this motion. Wealth makes us kings.
Thank you, dear speaker, for your dynamic, or dare I say, explosive speech. And now I call upon the full speaker of the government, Gaia Lève.
Here.
Dear Chairman, you might not be wealthy, but you surely, wisely, and outstandingly lovely. Precise timekeeper, wisdom comes with time, but I can't wait to spend the next 6 minutes with you. Honorable members of the jury, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us tonight. My dear partners in the government, let's show everyone happiness resides elsewhere than money. Unwise opposition, I hope flying carpets are not too cheap for you. Lovely audience, thank you so much for attending this debate. I swear to you that after this, I will grant you every wish you desire. Hi! I'm so happy to come out of the lamp again. Don't ask me to grant you some wishes, because thanks to the wise Aladdin, I am finally free. Yes, but if you behave, I might grant you the best wish of all, the wish of wisdom. Isn't that genie us? Oh wait, yes, because I am the blue genie, the piece of resistance of this debate. Sorry, Aladdin, you get the wisdom and the princess, I get to steal the show. Now, what do we have here? A beautiful opposition, beautiful faces, who believe it is better to be wealthy than wise? No. I am not allowing this. not under my watch.
Dear
Position, I swear to you that after my very wise rebuttal, you will beg me to grant you the wish of having better arguments. Your Majesty, Your Highnesses, so entitled, you seem to think that you can avoid taking a choice. And well, you can't. You have to choose. Wisdom. Oh well. The both of both worlds. But since you're hesitating, let me tell you what is best. Wisdom. Dear Harry, you quite disappoint me. To make a change, you need to be wealthy. Are you saying that poor people cannot be philanthropists? Don't have a voice? Wisdom is subjective. Well, yeah, thank you. You contradict Seneca, Aristotle, every religion in the world. But after all, you're royals.
On that
So lovely you mentioned the US, since it's the richest country in the world, yet the one with the greatest inequality. Before me, the lovely and sustainable Jasmine enlightened you on how wisdom is more sustainable than wealth. Wow, Jasmine, you really rubbed your arguments, you really rubbed my lamp the right way. In the next 5 minutes, I'll explain how being wise is better than being wealthy, because wisdom is an end in itself. Because at a personal scale, wisdom brings you happiness. And secondly, because on a societal level, wisdom brings balance to society. That's my first point on how a personal level, wisdom brings happiness. Wisdom allows happiness because it provides us with the understanding we need to navigate through the complexities of life. According to Seneca, wisdom is the ability to make good decisions. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, wisdom is indeed better than wealth, because wisdom is the lens through which you analyze your surroundings and reflect on your experience.
If you are wise, how you navigate in capitalistic society?
Thank you for your question. That's exactly what we're saying. It is so wise to not advocate for capitalist societies. Instead, we advocate for happiness and mental health. Aladdin came to me thinking being wealthy would impress the princess and that they will live wealthily ever after in the Agrabah country club. You know what happened? The princess dismissed him just as another wealthy and vain suitor. He learned a lesson that day, that wealth can never get you as far as wisdom. As the dangerous Jafar explained previously, the fantasy of wealth only promises to push people to the extremes. Wisdom, on the other hand, can never be too extreme. Don't get me wrong, even wise people make mistakes, but naturally, they can go to the next wise person in the room. In this case, that can be me, Habibi. Which brings me to my second point on how wisdom brings balance to society. A wise government at the head of a wise state knows how to find its balance between economic and social. Let me tell you a story, but I can't take the credit because Sherazade was the one to tell me. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a curious man who, while exploring, noticed something on the ground. He took a closer look and found a viscous black liquid. It was oil. And so with that, he brought light to thousands of people. The society depended on his discovery. He made millions and millions of gold coins, wore the finest silks, rode the jaguar, lived in opulent palaces. But he was not wise and didn't realize he was running out of oil. One day, it all came crashing down. Yes, please.
You're describing someone objectively rich. How can you describe someone objectively wise?
Well, someone that is objectively wise knows. Well, actually, can you repeat the question, please?
How can you describe someone who is objectively wise when you describe someone who is objectively rich?
The wise knows when to shut up or when to act. That is what lacks to the wise. The economy collapsed. People lost their jobs and homes, starved in the streets. The man lost everything. He became angry and bitter, and desperate to regain his wealth, instead of learning his lesson. His name, ladies and gentlemen, was Jafar. Norway also has oil and wisdom. They diversified their economy and can now ensure a higher quality for the population. To conclude, I have proven that both on a political and personal level, wisdom is not only necessary, but vital. But if this unwise opposition is still not convinced, then a whip, handsome is he, the one and only Blandine. Wisdom is his best ally, it takes him high, when wealth is truly just his enemy. Please remember, money comes and money goes, but wisdom lasts and only grows. Please accept this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, speaker, for your ingenious speech, enlightening me from your lamp. And now I call upon the fourth speaker of the opposition, Clémence Lecuit.
Dear Chairperson, thank you very much for hosting this debate in this royal setting. Wonderful bell person, your delightful ringing reminds me of the bells of Westminster. How charming. Esteemed jury, what a pleasure. Your wealth of experience and impartiality is beyond measure. I'd be wise to trust your judgments. Dear government, what a pleasure to debate against you. But I doubt we told you anything tonight that you don't already know. Surely in ILERI you know what virtue wealth has, given the price of this home. In royalty, you truly have it all. You're wealthy in charisma, intelligence, confidence. God knows it's more useful than only being wise. My lords and ladies, good evening. I am Diana. You might know me as the Princess of Wales, but I'm sure I'm the Queen of your hearts. I have fought to have the disadvantage. I don't consider myself the epitome of wisdom. Maybe my poor choice of husband can prove that. But I still feel that I've made some change in the world. And I have to thank my wealth for that, and of course my patience and my love-giving heart. I've already heard my two beautiful songs, and I'm sure the arguments have already convinced you. Still, I'd like to add my stone to the building and tell you that wisdom is not better than wealth, because wealth can be more efficiently shared than wisdom. First, I will show you that being wise is not necessarily good, neither for yourself nor the one you give advice to. Second, I will explain why sharing your wealth is more considerate than sharing your wisdom. First, let me come back to some of the silly things that the government said earlier. First of all, you made the mistake of thinking that we're advocating for a capitalistic society. We're not. But the thing is that we do live in a capitalistic society. One, wealth is more useful than wisdom. And second, you said that wisdom was an end in itself. Maybe. No, thank you. And what is the path to acquire this wisdom? Education, experience, not wealth allows you to gain. In order to be educated and experienced, and in order to gain wisdom. Now let me come back to my point. As I said, being wise is not necessarily good, neither for yourself, nor the one to be advised. Let me explain. The government wants you to believe that wisdom is the answer to all of life's problems. But the truth is that it can often create more problems than it solves. When you try to achieve wisdom, you usually think back on everything that you do, trying to find what went wrong, what you can do better next time. Yes, please.
Wealth leads to sadness, destruction. What are the bad sides of wisdom?
Well, that's precisely what I'm going to explain. Thank you very much. When you try to achieve wisdom by being reflexive and thinking on everything that you do, it can lead to overthinking. And then, that's just a snowball effect. You can have anxiety, loneliness, you name it. I speak from personal experience because I've been quite open on my mental health issues. I spent a decent amount of my life being alone and trying to be reflexive and trying to gain wisdom. Well, I've seen firsthand that it can decrease your quality of life. That is why today I'm advocating against it. And not only can be bad for yourself, but it can also be detrimental to others if you try to share it. On that one, please. No, thank you. What is the most common way to share wisdom? Through advice. But first of all, most of the time, people don't even want it. So thank you. And second of all, your advice might be bad. Being wise is a subjective virtue. So what works for you might not work for others. Let me give you an example of how wisdom doesn't make you a good advisor. Do you know about Malthus?
the economist, pretty wise guy, right? I do think so myself. Well, his advice, no, thank you. His advice was to not have babies, otherwise there would not be enough to feed everyone. I'm no economist, and I do try to admire British geniuses, but gosh, was he wrong? Nowadays, countries where natality was restricted, like China with its one-child policy, face a huge problem of aging population. My point is that ultimately, even the wisest person might make mistakes or This is what we believe, that it is presumptuous to think that being wise can help others. Yes, please.
Could you name a society that was destroyed by wisdom?
I'm not saying that wisdom was going to destroy society. I'm saying that wisdom is not always a good thing, and that even wise people can give bad advice. On the other hand, can be used to guide people because it is shareable. That brings me to my second point. When you share your wealth, you're not imposing your view of the world to the people. Let me explain what I mean. When you share your wealth, it gives the person you're helping the means to help themselves. That way, you give them autonomy, and they have more freedom in their decisions. Sharing your wealth is a way of saying, I trust you know what is best for yourself. Let me use some examples that show that money talks louder than wisdom. As you know, I am a fervent donator to all sorts of associations. After all, I am the people's princess. I spend a fair share of my life trying to help those in need. And as I often say, no thank you. Nothing brings me more happiness than trying to help the most vulnerable. Now tell me, when associations ask for your help, do they want your advice? They want for donations. They want you to give them your money, your wealth, and your wisdom. To them, I think it's pretty obvious that wisdom is not better than wealth. You give people what they want, which is a piece of your wealth and not a piece of your mind. Wealth, when used for the greater good, can be a powerful force for positive change, much more substantially than wisdom. Let us use our resources to help those in need and create a better world for all. I've tried to be an example of kindness during my life, and that is how I discovered that sharing wisdom was not better than sharing wealth. But I feel for your government, because my ex-husband is not going to be as nice as I am. Whoops, you introduced it. This is why we beg you to reject the motion. Well, save the king.
Thank you, dear speaker, for your enriching speech. As you all know, it is now time for the witness to conclude the arguments from each team. And now I call upon the whip of the government, Andreas Delacoux.
Most wonderful chairman, no matter what anyone says, you will always be a prince to me. Precise timekeeper. I wish to take you wonder by wonder on a magic carpet ride to share with you this whole new world. Tell me, Jeannie, can we make that happen? Wise members of the jury, tell me, when did you last let your heart decide? My dear partners of the government, shining, shimmering, splendid. With 3 wishes, I could not ask for a better team. Good friends from CentraleSupélec, a dazzling place I never knew. Thank you so much for hosting us tonight. You will always be welcome in the kingdom of Agrabah. My competitors of the opposition, it is crystal clear this debate would be nothing without you. So thank you very much for making this worthwhile. Beautiful audience, much hard work has been put into the making of this debate. So for myself and the speakers before me, can I please get a big here? Thank you very much. Welcome to my world. You've guessed it, it's the charming prince. It's Aladdin, but you may call me Ali Daddy. Yes, times indeed have changed, but Be warned, I am a retired thief after all. I might steal your heart along with you. I'm here to open your eyes. Being unwise leads to your demise. That is why in the next 5 minutes I will make the case for wisdom. Firstly, by reminding you the arguments of the government, then by addressing the confusion of this opposition. In the beginning, the great storyteller Scheherazade defined the terms and core of this motion and explained that everyone can become wise and that wisdom allows for balance. After her, the dangerous Jafar, who after years of being stuck in a lamp, explained that wealth unaccompanied by wisdom is dangerous for yourself and society. Following, my love, the sustainable Jasmine, showed you that it is not possible to maintain true wealth for a long time in the absence of wisdom. No thank you. Before me, my big old blue pal, the balanced genie, took the stand and demonstrated to you that wisdom, contrary to wealth, is an end in and of itself. With the arguments of the wonderful government fresh in your mind, dear jury, it is time for me to hop on my magic carpet and crash the opposition's market. There were two clash points in this debate. The first one on why, when you're wealthy, you have a sense of wisdom, and the second one on wealth is the ability to fully experience life. So on to the first clash point. When you're wealthy, you have a sense of wisdom. It's interesting, you would say that, because according to a study by Birmingham University, 74% of Lotto winners end up dead or broke a few years after their winning. Wealth automatically brings wisdom. Tell that to the kid from Home Alone, or the faithful club of the 27th. Nothing automatically brings anything. It's absurd to claim that. Then we were told that the first goal in life is to survive. I argue it is to reproduce, but regardless, is anyone here in survival mode? I see nice suits, I see people well clothed. Yes, please.
When you were silly, didn't you wish to be wealthy at the time?
No, wealthy is an absurd amount of wealth. I wish that I could eat. And, why go back to prehistoric feelings for your arguments? Am I to believe I should dress with mammoth fur because that's how it used to be? If you had one wish, you better ask for money. He knows what he is talking about. Well, take it from me, I had 3. On my first one, I picked wealth. And well, it served me no good. Only when I was wise enough to be myself did Jasmine finally accept me. Then they said they advocate for being wealthy and wise. Well, dear Harry, I suppose after all it is you that cannot read because the motion clearly states that you have to make a choice between 2 options. Well, it's a shame, but it's true. So, on to the second clash point. Wealth is the ability to fully experience life. Well, I suppose if you resume life to expensive yachts, private planes, and a little caviar in the morning, then I must admit you are right. But if instead you choose, for example, as Epicurus said, to invest yourself in human relationships, friends, family, perhaps a lover, the little things. In this case, your argument does not work. Dear Queen Elizabeth, might I remind you that your house stayed in power because they were wise enough to grant the people parliamentary democracy. Meanwhile, in France, they were not wise enough to change. And guess what happened? Execution!
On that point, what's the difference between wisdom and logical reasoning?
Well, logical reasoning is clearly the step that comes after you've acquired wisdom. Dear Diane, the fact that the people invest in education and strive for wisdom proves our point. So thank you very much. No thank you. Then you told us being wise is not necessarily good. As if wealth is always good. Then you told us about sharing wealth. But I must remind you that wealth is quantifiable. For every winner, there is a loser. Wisdom, not so much. It is only a net positive. So let us move on to the conclusion. You've arrived at the end of your tale. 1,001 nights have passed. You have walked the Arabian desert, you've entered the hidden cave, and there it was, the answer of it all. 3 words written on a golden lamp. Beware of wealth. It is a wild beast when left unleashed. Only through the harmony of wisdom can one use wealth to build a kingdom. Otherwise, it's depravity, making you lose touch with reality and sucking you in a world of vanity. Dear jury, if in your life you wish to be moral and cause no quarrel, if in your life you wish to be sustainable and not unavailable for yourself and your loved ones around you, if in your life you wish to make the choice of happiness, then you must make the choice of wiseness tonight. And remember, money comes and money goes, but wisdom lasts and only grows. Dear jury, please accept this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aladdin, for your shining and magical speech. Now, for their closing speech, I call upon the whip of the opposition, Emma Spender.
Noble jury, I recognize royalty when I see it. You and I are of the same kind. Superior. Dear chairperson, you have managed this debate to perfection. Do you practice in family counseling, maybe? It's for friends. Charming, belle person. You make me miss being 3 in my marriage. Government. I've met a lot of self-proclaimed wise men in my life.
Shame.
They all crawl before my feet for money. Fellow royal family, you really are the crown's jewels. And finally, dear audience, tonight you made me feel what it's like to be wealthy in friends and enemies. Is that all you got, really? I've been good my whole life. Try and pay half rent, please. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. How delightful an entertainment tonight has been. You have brought your king great joy. Thank you. It is akin to the tournaments my ancestors used to us. You have all fought under my royal gaze. The wise against the wealthy. The idealist against the realist. His Majesty Charles III shall have the final say. Fear not, government. For those who have lost, I will show mercy. Our rebuttals have chopped off enough wise heads. Wisdoms have been spoken on both sides, or so I call them, for others might call them antics, and they still be right. However, truth has only been spoken about your position. And I do not say this out of love for them, whatever love may mean, huh, Diana? I believe it is not better to be wise than wealthy, because I am a down-to-earth king, for I value reality over utopia. What this world needs is wealth, because wealth will certainly save you and your body from earthly distress. First, I will whip your arguments, and then I will remind you, dear audience and dear jury, of our great points.
What do you have to say to Albert Einstein, who said the greater things in life are not the one who you buy with money?
Your problem is you don't understand wealth is not only money. Listen to me. It is also friends. It is also acquaintances. It is also power. So, as Claude Lévi-Strauss says, the wise man doesn't give the right answer, they ask the right question, and that's what he did. So, there were 3 points of clash during this debate, or as I like to call them, instances of discordance. First, Sherazade, I'm afraid you misunderstood the motion, and so it is not about whether one can become wise or wealthy. It is about what one would rather be if they were given the choice.
make a choice.
Exactly.
But making a choice doesn't mean one is better.
This
is about personal preference. So definitions, they didn't do their work. The point of wealthy is that being wealthy is sustainable, in a position to be enriched. Money comes and money goes, but wealth does not. I'm sorry.
Please.
No, thank you. You also said logic is the next step to wisdom. Well, I mean, sorry, but Nazi logic isn't wisdom to us. So, my mom, the queen, she showed that your definitions were limited. Wisdom is subjective. Anyone can self-proclaim himself wise. And no one can prove him wrong. On the other hand, wealth is objective. It is living in abundance. Money, but also acquaintances, family, in short, it is living right. Second point of contention, Jafar, you said wealth is evil, but money has no other. Wealth isn't evil, you are. It makes you want more and more, but I'm afraid once again you fell asleep during the definition. Wealth is abundance. Wealthy people do not want more, needy people do. So, actually, if I follow your logic, being wealthy saves you from being evil. Thank you. Third point of contention, you said that being wealthy is not being rounded, it is being unrealistic. And you pretend we are talking for 1%? Really, you are. Only people who have all their needs met can wish and would wish for wisdom over wealth. And this is what my second son, Harry, said. He's a simple man. Life for him is about two things. Happiness and survival. Being wise doesn't help in any of them. And face it, government wealth does. Even science says it. Wealth pays your bill, wisdom does not. Thank you. No, thank you. Secondly came my first son, the one who's actually from me. He demonstrated that wealth alone holds great power, while wisdom on its own is rather ineffective. Money talks people, money provides a platform, and no matter how profound and wise your message is, and tell you how you talk about poor people, no matter how wise your message is, without a platform, it won't lead to societal change. And finally, Lady Di, my remarkable yet immature ex-wife, she showed you that wisdom can be harmful. If we take this subjective quality for an objective one, as this government wants to do, and follow blindly its advice, then we end up being fooled. And she may never be queen, but thanks to her wealth, she made more good, she spread more love than any wisdom could ever have. Is knowing wisdom is not better than wealth. My family has gathered today. Some came from under the Atlantic, others back from the dead, to tell it to you, dear jury. It is not better to be wise than wealthy. I may be king, but I face reality. Wealth says the king, reject the motion. Thank you.